My conversation today on Behind the Act is with Julie Melucci Odnoralov. She's an artist, an instrumentalist, and a producer. And today we're talking about the process of being a new artist and how our excuses for not releasing our art are really just fears that are getting in our own way. I'm Seth Schaefer. This is Behind the Act with Julie Melucci Odnoralov.
I mean, I'm always kind of doing a lot of things, but the main focus the past couple years has been my artist project, so my music, but I'm always kind of doing a bunch of things like playing guitar for people, or sometimes I'll produce songs for people or like do remixes, stuff like that, play on albums. But the artist project is definitely the focus.
And what is the artist project?
Like, what's it called?
Yeah,
called...
and what do you do with it?
Yeah, so it's called Julie on the Internet. And it's basically, I mean, it's just I write songs. I have some, like if you go to my Spotify with that name, there's a lot of guitar cover songs because it started out as like, this is the catch-all for whatever I'm putting out. So I did some guitar covers for social media, hence Julie on the Internet. But now it's kind of everything. So it's a mix. It's really whatever I put out. But the stuff I'm most excited about is the original music that I'm writing and co-producing and playing on and all that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's your vision? I mean, if you could snap your fingers and all success that you're wanting to get to happen tomorrow, you know?
Ooh, that's tough because, I mean, I have a lot of goals and I'm pretty ambitious, I would say, but I've also learned to kind of hold things lightly. So I have a hard time answering that question because I want to tour and like obviously be successful, whatever that means. But I'm also like very aware of the fact that I don't always know what's best for me. So I kind of just try and do what I feel like I should be doing in that day. And I guess I kind of chip away at some of those bigger goals, but it's like, you know, I'm just kind of let things unfold the way.
I love that idea of I don't know what's best for me because I feel like I've experienced that when
I had to learn it. Yeah.
You had to learn it? So,
yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Well, okay. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I mean, nothing too specific, I guess, but I'm a big dreamer. I have a lot of things that I want to do, and like my motivations are always just as humans. I feel like we're trying to do good for the world, but then like everyone's kind of selfish too, and everything. I've just sometimes had a hard time balancing like what do I do? Like how do I move forward in life if I feel like motivations are coming in from all over the place? And that's something I've just like really mentally struggled with, I guess. So, yeah. So that's what I mean by I don't know what's best for me. Like, I'm just like, God help me, you know?
Right. We had, when we were especially trying to be more aggressive about growing the business, people asking for business plans. And I feel like they were always asking us to be fortune tellers. Like,
yeah.
What's your business plan and how much you're going to make this year and the next year? And I was like, I have no idea. Like, and
amazing
I don't know
question.
how
I
I'm
would love to know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I would love to know.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Like, let me look at the Magic 8 Ball and tell you here in a second. That's always funny. But I also think the same thing with the music. For me, I'm showing up and trying to learn what I'm the worst at and try to get better at those things one step at a time, and it will land me somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know where, but
put in front of the other.
Yeah.
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 It's all part of it.
It's fun. What excites you the most? Like what days or like what part of this whole process of music are your favorite things right now?
I think I like the surprise of it. I love how it's unpredictable. I hate how it's unpredictable, but I also love how it's unpredictable. And I don't know, it keeps life from getting too boring.
So you thrive in the variety of it.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm excited about right now. I'm most excited about growing as an artist, and I haven't played too many shows. I've done a few like stripped down acoustic shows, just me. So that's something I'm excited about, getting out more and, I don't know, interacting with people in real life and seeing how people respond to the music. And I don't know, I just haven't had a lot of good face-to-face time, being mostly internet stuff for now, outside of playing for other people. Like my own stuff has been mostly through a screen. So I'm just excited to bring it into real life more.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What are the biggest hurdles you have right now to getting to that spot?
Biggest hurdles. Let's see. I think, I'm doing this all by myself. I mean, my husband helps a ton, just being a supporter, and he helps with the music too, but I don't have management or like a team or anything like that. So I feel like I have to wear a lot of hats. And sometimes in the process of wearing all those hats, I feel like I'm not wearing one hat like fully, like really well. So I've been trying to figure out how to organize my schedule and how to like stay on top of tasks and still be creative, but also check all the boxes and make sure I'm being creative and doing the best work that I can do, but also trying to give it an actual chance for people to hear it, which is a whole other side. That's the business side of it, I guess. So that's probably the biggest hurdle, is like, I have days like, I feel like the thing that I come across the most as a hurdle is like I feel lonely today. I feel like I'm just doing this by myself, and I am. That's part of being an artist. But it's like, it's fun to do things as a team and like win as a team and lose as a team. And yeah, sometimes I just kind of hope that part of it fills out in the somewhat near future, but
that it shows
we'll
up
see.
soon.
We'll see. I'll be doing it either way.
Yeah. Have you entertained the idea of management?
I have. I mean, I'm not actively seeking it. I'm kind of just like waiting and seeing if anybody comes along that believes in what I'm doing and is interested. And I'm not in a place where it's like it's so overwhelming that I need it. Like I'm still building this from the ground up, and I still feel like I'm a baby artist. So it's not as much like there's this demand for it. Like there's not a demand for my music or like a demand for my shows. Like I'm trying to create a demand for it right now. Yeah. So it's more of just like, oh, this would be better if somebody was on my team and like having kind of a consistent sounding board like that. But yeah, I'm not actively seeking it. I'm just kind of hoping at some point everything falls into place in that way.
Yeah, I asked that sounding like I had an answer. I was just more curious.
Do you know any music?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a plan for me? A game plan for me?
Exactly.
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, exactly. I know for me, when I have a bunch of hats that I'm wearing, I feel like the hats that I am worse at or least motivated by take up significantly more space of like significantly more headspace and executive function and my capacity than the things that I love. And I know by asking other people to help me on those things, it opens up a lot more progress for me on the things that I love.
Yeah.
What of the things that you're dealing with are your favorite parts of it? Like if you could delegate everything else, you're like, but these are the ones I want to do.
I mean, writing music, playing music. I don't really enjoy making videos, which is, I've been doing a lot of that, but it's more just to be consistent and like be like, hey, I'm still here, I'm doing stuff, I'm putting music out. So I can't really delegate that because I have to make that myself. So I don't really mind that. It's not my favorite, but I definitely love to just be making music, playing shows, doing the fun stuff, not the hard, boring stuff.
That's funny. I guess that makes sense. I hate doing well, not hate, but a lot of times I hate doing social media stuff because of the resonance of social media and the demands of what that means for things. I definitely feel that burnout, but ironically, I mean, making a podcast and having that be successful requires a lot more engagement with social media. But talk to me about motivations for social media posting and how that helps you and helps others. And
yeah, I think I've been trying to find a balance of putting out videos that show my artistry, but then also videos that I think will do well. So like usually guitar stuff does better for me. I don't want to say like better or worse. Like it's not just all about numbers, but
if we're looking at that,
yeah, it's like I have this thing that I know has worked, and there's kind of this like formula to it that it's easy for me to stay consistent with it. Like I don't really need to be too creative. It can be consistent. Like that part feels like a job in a way. But I also don't want to just be like, I'm a guitar player.
Right.
I want people to actually listen to my music. So yeah, I guess, motivation is like wanting to reach people, but finding the balance of reaching people with something, but not necessarily making them think that that's all I do.
Right.
So that's a little hard too, where it's like somebody might like a guitar video and then they'll hear my music and like, what is this? Like, this is not that at all.
Right.
So yeah.
That is interesting. I've seen other people go through, for example, like cover phases where like they realize that that's an easy way to get a lot more views for certain things or whatever, but it boxes them into being that artist that does, and it doesn't really represent them as an artist, you know?
Yeah. I don't mind the cover thing as much. Like I've been trying to do a little more of that actually.
One is awesome.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I've been trying to do a little more of that, like covers that involve singing, because I haven't put out a ton of stuff with singing. So covers is a good way to do that, because it's like I write lyrics, but I feel like a lot of what I do is like the sound, like the vibe of the music. So what's cool about that is I can put my own spin on covers and still feel like I'm showing you what I do. So I've been actually wanting to do more of that, like covers of vocals, but yeah,
that's
vocal
awesome.
thing, that's been that's another hurdle, is I've been trying to get over like putting out videos of me singing. I don't know why. I've just always been so uncomfortable with it.
Trying to hide it.
Yeah. But I'm like, I can't do that forever.
So what is the mechanism there? Is it fear or doubt or?
Fear, insecurity. I mean, I've played guitar since I was a little kid, and it's just something that's like easier to hide behind. And I've had a hard time feeling like I was a vocalist, because like I can sing on pitch, and like I've been kind of finding my own style, and I can imitate people. So like it was always hard for me to find my own voice. So sometimes if I'm just like singing and it's like, this is my song, this is how I'm choosing to sing it, it feels so vulnerable to me, because I've spent so much time either singing backgrounds for people, which is oftentimes I try and match like their exact voice, not intentionally. It's just like how I like to sound blended, or I'll be doing impressions of people if I'm singing along to their music. So there's something vulnerable to being like, this is my voice. These are the vocal choices I'm making.
Right.
Like, nobody else is telling me to do this, and that's scary to me.
That's funny. As an instrumentalist, my identity is more connected to being a piano player, not a singer, not a lyricist, not those things. So I feel that same mechanism of being afraid of hearing my voice or forcing that forward. But I've learned that everybody kind of hates their voice when they, I mean, maybe not. I guess singers, if that's what they do and that's what they like, that's what they're confident with. But I think also humans connect to the sound of another human's voice more than they do like that thing that like the piano playing or the guitar playing,
It's true. Yeah, connect to other people's voices more than really connecting to your own voice. Because, like, I don't know. I feel like so much of music is the connection aspect of it. So it's like if you're emotionally connecting to somebody else's voice, it's like you can't really do that with yourself because you know yourself too well.
Right.
You can. Like, I can listen back and be like, oh, that sounds good. Like, I like how that sounds. But it's different hearing yourself back. It's like it's never going to be the same as hearing somebody else. You'll never have a really solid perspective on yourself, I don't think.
Right. I've also struggled with hearing lyrics. Like, I just don't hear what the words are because I hear the music. The music is like...
I like that too.
So the last couple of years have been a discovery for me. I was like, oh, there's this whole other side of music that those word sounds that they're making actually have meaning. So I'll go back
they're actually like saying sentences that when strung together, words when strung together have a meaning.
That actually means something. And sometimes it's like so different than what I thought the song meant. You know, like as I'm going into it. It sounds so hilarious, but it literally was like, oh wait, that song means this, and now I don't like that song. Or oh yeah,
it's happened with songs that I know really well too. Or it's like I've heard it thousands of times, and it's like I'm even singing with it, but I've never actually listened to what I'm saying, and it's like, wait a minute, I don't know what this song's about at all. Like just.
Or sometimes it's really creepy. You're like, wait, what did you say?
Yeah. There are a lot of songs like that too. It's like, I mean, like Baby It's Cold Outside, I think is one of them that,
oh my goodness,
like people have been waking up to the past, I don't know, 5 years.
Right.
Like things like that. We're just like, we don't know what we're singing. We're just singing it. So it's powerful.
Exactly.
What you said.
So funny. Okay. So in the words department, or, I mean, is there a style or like I don't know, like an emotional direction that motivates you to communicate to people?
I think a common thread with a lot of songs that I write is that they're pretty existential.
Mm-hmm.
So I go there a lot. Just I have a lot of questions and like I think really hard about life and like the deeper meaning in things, and I feel like that comes out in a lot of songs too. So, I don't know if that answers your question, but I feel like that's what I tend to write about, whether, I mean, it translates into all different subjects in life, but the common thread is like, it's always like asking the bigger questions or like searching for a deeper meaning or something, because that's kind of where my head's always at when I'm in my feels.
Yeah. Okay, so you said when you're in your feels, are you a strike the iron when it's hot, like I'm motivated now, I need to like put everything aside and write now, or do you have like a schedule that you work on for your songwriting? Or
I don't have a schedule for writing my music, and I've written a lot with other people and for other people, and with that it's like that's scheduled. I show up on a date that was set ahead of time and get there at like 11 a.m. until whatever time. And I've set up days for my music like that too, but I'm pretty loose with like needing to write a good song. Like I kind of just, if a song comes to me, I'll write it like random times, random days, middle of the night, or like sometimes I'll just randomly get inspired while I'm doing something else and I'll drop it and be like, oh, a song's coming. Yeah. There's so many times where a song isn't coming. So I'm going to drop everything and get this song out. So not the writing part, the lyric writing part is not usually scheduled unless I'm really trying to finish something and I'm like, okay, I need to sit down and like really focus on this here. But like the initial inspiration and starting a song is usually just spontaneous.
How far do you try to take a song to know that you will have transferred the motivation of right now to your future self when you need to work on it? Like,
wait, can you ask that again?
In other words, how far do you need to take a song? Like in my case, I have a bunch of like, let's say like a chorus melody idea, and I'll drop down the idea and it's like, that's really cool. And then later I'm like, dang it, I know I had more that would have helped me now, like be motivated to like feel that, you know, like in other words, how far do you have to take an idea for yourself to then feel like you have something that you can work with later?
I tend to come up with maybe like a chorus or just like a hook that I really like. So I have a ton of starts that are like I really liked this, but I never knew where to took it. Never knew where to take it. So I think when I know, okay, like I'm going to finish this song, it's probably I have a loose structure of what the verses are too and what the hook is. And like the music parts, like I can always figure out the music part, but it's like I need to know what the lyric is and know that I am saying a complete thought and have a structured song to go forward with it. It's like the music part is easy. If I have a song and I really like the lyrics, done. I'm finding a way to put that out and like put music to it. Other way around, like I have a lot of music starts that I love but haven't gone anywhere because I've tried to write to them and it's just not happening, not clicking.
I have so many voice memos that are just like, yep, ridiculous. And I've the reason I was asking that is a lot of songwriters I've been like listening to have been like, make sure you get a whole song done. It doesn't have to be good. It just needs to be finished. So you have like at least an idea of a verse and a chorus and a verse and like you like get the whole structure while you're there, like force it out, almost, like even if you're not motivated to get that section done, like paint that whole picture because then you can come back and I don't know.
And if it's still a good song, if you're just playing it on guitar or playing it on piano, because I'll like heavily rely on production or like doing cool like vocal processing or things like that. So I think that's a good test too, is just like, does this stand on its own as a song?
I love
just without any tricks or anything like that. And some songs, like, it's fine. They'll never translate as an acoustic song. And that's okay sometimes. But I've been trying to focus more on like writing a good song that's a song, no matter who's singing it on what instrument. Because that's always kind of been a hard thing for me, is like, just get a song. Just write a song.
I think that's a great way to think about it, though. I mean, something I've been telling myself, like, is this song coverable?
Yeah, like, that's a great question.
Yeah. Am I making something that is, because I, have, like, I was playing that thing with the acoustic bass, like, riff or whatever. Like, if that's, like, the only thing that makes a song cool, then that's not coverable, It's like...
But it could still be cool. It still could be worth finishing, but yeah, it's like...
Totally. Yeah. I don't need to feel like if the production is a lot of the art that people are enjoying, fine. But like, but I also just like the idea of being motivated to write things that, the words and the melodies and stuff are great, like on an old untuned piano in an alley. And,
yeah, it's like, I would always prefer it to be a really good song.
Yeah.
Sometimes songs work that are just like, I don't really need to spend more time on the lyrics. It's not really about that. But if I had really good lyrics for that song, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
I'd be very happy about it.
Right. What output, sorry, let me rephrase that. How much are you hoping to get done? Like how much music do you want to release at what schedule? And do you have that figured out yet?
At this point, I'm still just putting out singles, and I guess I'm loosely hoping like every couple months at this point. I have ideas for full albums and just like longer projects that are more cohesive, but I kind of want to wait until maybe there's like people are listening.
Right.
Not because like a lot of people need to hear my music for it to be worth making, but it's like I would rather, if I have a idea for an album, I would rather just start by putting out a bunch of singles to find who likes the music, and then maybe they'll get to a point where they want to listen to a full album start to finish.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I have an album in my head that's like kind of been in the works for a while, but it's just not the time. And there's so much to it too, where it's like, this requires time and a budget and like all this stuff that I don't have right now.
How do you view, I mean, I'm totally ignorant about this. So how do you view the structured idea of like an album view versus a single view?
I mean, I don't really have a strong opinion. There's not like one that's better than the other. I like the idea of a body of work if it's meant to be cohesive and like listened to in a certain order. But I don't feel the need to put out an album if it's just like a body of work with 13 songs on it just because.
Right.
It's more of just like, if there's a story to tell that's an album length, I want to tell that story. If not, like, I'm fine with putting out a single.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What are you most afraid of right now and moving forward?
What am I most afraid of? Probably something like tragic happening in life and music. What kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, like, what are your where are your doubts coming from at the moment? I guess would be another way to put it.
I definitely have like a strong faith that like if things are supposed to happen, they will, and like what I was made for, what any of us are made for, will come to pass. So it's like I have a piece about that, but I guess sometimes I doubt if I'm like, did I always feel like I need to be like improving myself, like self-improvement to then earn the next step in life. And it's just this mindset that I have that I try to break out of and like give myself a little more grace in. Yeah, I guess I don't know if that really answers the question, but the fear in that would be like fear that I'm doing something wrong or like not going down the right path, like whatever that means.
Right.
And when I really think about it, it's like that doesn't make sense. Like you can't spend your time thinking like that. But yeah, that trips me up for sure.
So are you saying like I'm not working hard enough, or I'm not working smart enough, and I'm not like kind of in some ways having an unhealthy value attached to your output kind of a idea? Or
yeah, or like if I were maybe like I'm not vulnerable enough, or like I have to experience a certain level of personal growth before I can experience a certain level of music success, or like I don't know, I just have this kind of messed up system of measuring things sometimes that I have to break out of, I have to be aware of, and you're like, that's not how life works, and I can easily just become a slave to these false mindsets without even realizing it. So something I have to kind of check in with every day and like surrender to every day.
Yeah. What have you learned since you were in high school that you wish you would have known in high school? And
honestly, I don't know if there's anything that I would have wished I knew, because I'm like, okay, life has really unfolded in a way where I've been able to learn, and it's hard for me to have regret or like look back, even though there are lots of things that are probably worth regretting, but it's like I feel at peace about where I am. So it's like, I don't know if I would change anything.
I love that.
Probably just be like, you'll be okay. You'll find more peace than you have right now. Maybe I'll tell myself that. I would have liked to hear that at the time. But I don't know. Anything besides that.
What keeps you motivated? Sorry to interrupt.
No. I just find a lot of purpose in day-to-day life. And I just feel like there's a deeper meaning to everything and a bigger purpose to everything, like even if it doesn't feel big. So that keeps me going. I just feel like I'm part of a bigger story, like this narrative of like the story of humanity, and it's exciting to just be able to be a part of it. And that motivates me. I'm like, I want to play my role the best I can.
It's awesome. I love it. What else do you feel would be helpful for other artists to, I don't know or talk about or hear? Or, I don't know.
Maybe authenticity. would be a good
Okay.
one.
How do you define authenticity?
It's hard because even when you're being true to yourself, you're absorbing like the culture around you and people around you, and like everybody's being influenced by outside things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe just like it comes down to individual choices that you're making, like moment to moment. You can only be authentic in the moment that you're in. Like you can only make a choice in the moment that you're in right now. So it's like, this is what I want to do, but like there's a top 40 song that's doing this and people might like appreciate this more or understand it more, or it might reach a bigger audience if I do this instead of the thing I really want to do and the thing that's exciting to me and the thing I would want to listen to.
Yeah.
I think being authentic is like making the choice of like not basing it off of popularity. And sometimes your preference could also be the popular thing too, which great.
Totally.
Happy for you. Like that's your story.
Right.
But yeah, I think just like choosing that's the only way things move forward, or like trends change, or like I don't know, just don't follow a trend because it's a trend. But if you genuinely resonate with it, that's different.
Right.
So I think just consistently choosing like what you resonate with, and that doesn't mean not taking other people's opinions seriously or not listening to anybody else, but just not sacrificing like what makes you you for the sake of success or pleasing people.
Yeah. I definitely went down the camp of here are the amount of bars and the BPMs and the correct, like tension and release and flow, and like build a template that, okay, look, I just gonna write a song to
like
that.
the Max Martin like template of a song.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And I was like,
which I love.
That doesn't, yeah, sure. So. I'm just saying, like, that doesn't make me feel motivated to write anything that moves me. So I'm like, that's great. There's the answer. Now I'm going to not do that unless I accidentally do it, or
which like certain things become popular because, or like certain things become cliches because they're good things,
right?
Because a lot of people have agreed that this is a good thing. So it's not bad if it's popular, but it's like preference and taste. It's not like how unique is it, or how different is it, or like, no, it's, if you like what you're doing, you're authentic.
Yep. And I've been thinking about that for social media stuff too, for me. Like, okay, so if I'm doing this in the guise of what I perceive people are going to like or want. I mean, granted, like I like being a goofball and making silly content occasionally. It's honestly the most fun that I think I have on social media. It doesn't represent what I want my art stuff to be, but not necessarily.
That can still be a branch of it.
Totally.
Like it's still you.
Totally. And I don't mind doing that stuff. And I guess I know that that's going to play well usually, because it's like people are fine. Well, they enjoy people being vulnerable and silly, But when it comes down to like the other side of the music stuff, especially like tracks that are a little bit darker or whatever, I'm like really thinking about how do I create visuals that attach to that aren't, I don't know, like too forced, and I don't even know what, but but it comes down to that authentic side. Like, how do you do it in a way that feels good?
Yeah. I think it's easy too to like, the type of people that really prioritize our authenticity are oftentimes also the people that like want to be different or like want to be unique. Couldn't be me. Just kidding. It is. But it's like just to find, I don't know, just to have peace about like moving forward in what you're doing and liking what you're doing and not worrying about, I don't know, how it's going to translate.
Right.
Important.
Right. How do you want people to know you, like to perceive you or talk about you when you're not there?
Maybe not say like horrible things that are mean. Oh no. I mean, how would I like to be perceived? Like in a good way, in a light way. But I mean, more than anything, I want to be like a source of light and like I want to inspire people if I can. Like I just want to make a positive impact, I guess. I want people to see that God is good.
Yeah.
That's about it.
When you say you want people to know God is good, what does that mean?
Like, just we live in a really crazy, divided world, and there's so much that's like broken and messed up, and like all of us take part in that. And ultimately, I just want the goodness and the light and hope to be the thing that rises. And I don't want to take part in anything that's not doing that. And I mean, naturally I will, because I'm a human. And
Right.
not everything I can do is going to be like good or perfect or like holy or whatever. But yeah, I want people to walk away from whatever it is and like have peace and joy. And
I sense that from you. I mean, I can tell that you have a healthy view, it feels, of like, it feels like at least that you give yourself and accept grace for, like, I don't know, you feel very peaceful.
oh,
And
thanks. I'm glad to hear that.
That's cool, and that's notable. So
Oh, that's awesome.
and it's taken me a lot of work to even like identify that or even understand for myself, and I definitely have to remain open to continually acknowledge that I need to give myself grace, just like I would give somebody else, and about life. But
Yeah. And it's a daily choice too. It's like, I think just consistently making that choice and consistently being aware of it. Like,
yeah,
oh, peace has grown in me. Like I am a much more peaceful person now than I was. But it's still like the struggle of it is still there for sure. But
how do you manage your, sorry, now I'm like other direction.
I love it.
How do you manage your weeks or your days in order to continue to move things forward successfully? Because it does seem like, I mean, you have a good amount of output, and I don't know. How do you do it?
I'm glad you think so.
No.
I guess how I organize it is like I kind of I have a list. I just have a to-do list of different tasks, and I don't really set a time for when I have to do those things unless there is an active deadline.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the times, like, I'll get scattered, or like I'll be really into one thing, and then it's like I can't even listen to this song anymore. What do I do? This was the thing I set today aside for. So I kind of have an ongoing list of things, and it's like if I have heard a song so much that I can't hear anything anymore, I'll switch to a different task and kind of jump around between things. But usually it looks like a mix of making music, doing some sort of admin thing, making art, like album art, or making videos, like content, editing those videos. Sometimes I'll just spend a day like, okay, I'm just going to film stuff today and then get that over with, because that's my least favorite part, is like the filming, like going back and forth with the camera and like getting a good take. And then I love when that's all done and I can just take my computer somewhere else and edit everything and not be doing that part. So yeah, I kind of just have like a list of goals and then kind of jump around how I tackle those.
And you somehow are still able to get them all done. And
Somehow. I mean, I don't know. I'm my own boss. So there's probably a lot I could be getting done that I'm not getting done. But.
Right. Of those tasks you just mentioned, which ones do you feel the most relief or success at the end of the day when you get them done?
I mean, there's nothing like finishing a song. Like, I'm not the best mixer, But if I'm doing a remix for somebody or like a production, a lot of songs I've done for other people, like I've ended up being the mixer and the masterer, and having a finished product that's like, okay, this is the file that's going to get released, and listening to that in the car after working on it for a long time. That's one of the best feelings. Like, yeah,
It's awesome.
I can finish a song. Yeah.
And I know you've lived around a lot of people that are doing similar stuff, right? A lot of artists, and they're doing well. What pieces of that puzzle do you think are most important to communicate to? Like, I always say like a young artist, but a young artist could be a 75-year-old that just decided that they want to start doing it, you know? So somebody that's just getting started in art, like, what do they prioritize?
Working with people that you love and get along with and have fun and have similar, like, you don't have to have similar, like, perspectives on life, but just like similar visions for like the future and similar values, I guess. Just people you like hanging out with and like making music with. Like, for the time I've spent on the road with other people, it's like you play maybe 30 minutes to 90 minutes a night, but the rest of it, it's like you're in a car or on a plane or on a bus, just hanging out with people. So like, I don't know, maybe just chill and like have fun with the people you're with, and like be a good person to be around, be the type of friend you want people to be to you. And like encourage your friends and like listen to their music, and I don't know, just invest in the people around you in a genuine way, and not in a way where it's like, how am I gonna get something out of this?
Totally.
Which is hard to do sometimes, because there are certain things that come up, or like jobs that come up, and it's like, I don't really want to do this, but that would be smart to do that. And like, it's just like a business decision, I guess. But for the most part, it's like, I don't know, I think just being genuinely interested in other people and loving other people things will just naturally unfold in a good way. Like, you can't go wrong with that. So, yeah.
I love that. That's something I've been trying to learn from people over the last few episodes, is like how to be a fan. Like, it sounds kind of obvious, I think, to people that are practiced in following things, you know?
Yeah.
But it's been kind of one of those questions to me. I was like, this might sound really obvious, but like, really, how do you become a good fan? And part of that's a little bit of a study of like, who are your favorite fans? I mean, especially the ones you don't know, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, how do you, I don't know.
It's hard because I don't know the answer to that, because it's like, this is what I'm making, and I'm going to put this out into the world, and like, hopefully people connect with it, because otherwise, why am I doing it? But it's like, I don't really have a specific, like, this is how I want you to interact with me. Like, it's for you.
Right.
Like,
right.
Ultimately, like, I'm making something for you to consume. So it's like, however it best serves you and your needs.
Right.
But it's great if you want to support, and like, if I have a show, like, buy a ticket, like, share my song, add it to a playlist, like, things like that, the obvious things. But besides that, it's like, I don't know, this is for you. So
okay, so let's talk about that too, if you don't mind. Talk about, like, okay, so you're making art for them, but you're also making art for you. Like, where's that crossover? Like, if you could never share your music, I'm guessing you'd still be making music.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, I never put out a song until last year. And like, I've been writing songs forever. Like, the people that are closest to me in my life, only a few people like knew that for a long time. A lot of people just thought I was like just playing guitar and stuff like that for people. But I was always writing songs, and I didn't know if I'd ever get to a point where I would be like brave enough to share it, or want to share it, or like just want to go into that like vulnerable space of like, I'm an artist, I have something to say.
Yeah.
I kind of hoped I would get to that place, but like, most of what I've done has been like just kept to myself, or like even a couple friends. So yeah, it's for me first to like get out my feelings or get out like whatever it is that I want to get out. And hopefully people resonate with it. But yeah, I would be doing it. If that was the question, I would be doing it whether or not people were listening, because I can't not, like, I can't help it.
Yeah. What how was that process of finally committing to release?
I just had to get over being afraid of releasing music.
It's just that easy. Just don't be afraid.
It was
no, I'm just
that easy. That's all you do. You just get over it.
Yeah, realize you're afraid and don't be afraid anymore.
Get over it.
That's been something I've struggled with forever.
Yeah. So it took a long time to get to a point where I was like, I'm going to put this out. But I think I just had to be I think like I realized like, oh, now I'm just making excuses for myself, because I thought like, okay, I'll move to Nashville and I'll play guitar for people and get my foot in the door and learn how to be in the music industry and like meet people and stuff like that. And I did that for a long time. And it got to a point where it was like, it's not lack of music connection or lack of opportunity. It's like, I'm getting in my way. I'm the one stopping me. All of these things that I always said were like the things keeping me from doing it, those aren't my obstacles anymore. So now I'm just scared and like making excuses. So I think once I really got to that point where I was like faced with that as my reality, it's like, okay, well, I got to do it now.
Yeah. This studio is literally a representation of all of me. Like me, I'm deleting every excuse.
I love that.
Yeah, like there are no more excuses. I'm the problem. Like, and it's great.
It's great to realize that. It's a hard thing to realize, but it's but I feel like that's step one. Is like being able to realize that.
Yeah, but
you're doing great with that, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
There's not a single excuse in this room.
Nope. Yeah, except for me.
and me. Yeah.
No. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. This is awesome.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing with other people you think might gain value from it. My name is Seth Schaefer. This is Behind the Act.